Welcome to another episode, and I'm gonna be giving you my reactions, my recap to the Xbox Showcase show that they recently showed. I say show like 5 times. Should I redo the intro? No, I'm not gonna redo the intro. I'm giving it to you raw. Now, before I start this video, I want to give a shout out to Kermit the Frog 37 and Gummy Bear Wright, who were in the chat with me during my live stream and kept me entertained, and vice versa. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on my next live stream. Xbox started off with a bang, and it showed Halo Infinite. Unfortunately, my live stream was a little choppy, but I went back and watched the actual gameplay, and it looked smooth like butter. And it looked pretty good. I was mostly impressed with the gameplay and how smooth it ran and how beautiful it looked. And it looked like it looks like it was actually built well, if that makes any sense. I like the whole Halo Combat Evolved feel, how it's going back to the original. That's the kind of feeling that I got. The main villain guy, when he was talking to the camera, at least when I was looking at it, it looked the texture didn't look so well. But besides that, I was pleased with Halo, and I appreciate finally that they showed some gameplay, and it actually looked pretty good. However, I wanted to see a little bit of multiplayer, just to get a little, hint of how it's gonna be. But I get it, there's still months and months away, and Halo is gonna be such a huge game that they want to save some more news for later on. Something else for us to be excited for. But I was pleased with what they showed. And I'm sure us Xbox guys and anybody else who's into video games can pretty much guarantee that this Halo is actually going to deliver. And rumors so far is saying that it's going to be a little bit more open world type, like Destiny is. Even though I know it's not an open world, but just a little bit more open. The map areas will be a lot more larger. And supposedly that Halo Infinite, there's not going to be a part 2. They're gonna grow onto the game like Destiny is, and they're gonna be adding expansions and new stories to the Halo Infinite universe, and that's probably where it gets the name Infinite from. Now, I'll probably be digging into this game and get some standalone information, make a video on it, but I just want to give you a quick recap of what I saw, and I was pleased with Halo Infinite, and I'm definitely gonna get that out launch. That alone, pretty much at least set the tone for Xbox Next Gen. Now, another big game that they showed was Fable. So at least now we got confirmation that it's being developed, and they only showed CG. They showed no actual gameplay, but it still has the humor in there, as seen by the frog eating that berry. So we can still expect that type of humor. I want to see, obviously, gameplay, but I'm sure that game's still a few years off, and it's not going to make it nowhere near launch window. But at least it's confirmed that a new Fable is being worked on. So that's something to look forward to. Another game that they showed was The Medium. Now, The Medium looked okay to me. It's a horror game. It looks pretty trippy. What I appreciated about The Medium was that the developers are trying something new with the game. Supposedly, this game is rendered twice. It's rendered in this horror mode and also in this regular mode at the same time. So I want to see how the gameplay is gonna work going in between worlds. What's the hook? I want to see the hook besides it being rendered twice. I really appreciate that they're trying new ideas with games this generation. So even though it may not be the best looking game or may not reach that AAA big blockbuster status, I like that they're trying new things, and that's what I'm hopefully look forward to the next generation, that these game companies are actually taking risks and trying new things, because why not, right? Another game that I really like, given by my poster in the back, is Psychonauts 2. I was really digging the psychedelic feel, the 70s vibe. For someone who partakes in extracurricular activities, it will be a very great game to play while you're partaking. I don't do any hard stuff, but if it's green and it grows from the earth, I'm saying, hey, it's all good. And supposedly there's some strains that help you from contacting COVID. I guess it breaks down some reactors or something and blocks them. So it's a win-win if you tell me. There's so much trippy stuff going on in that game that if you do partake in these extracurricular activities, it's gonna be a blast to play. So I'm really looking forward to that game, Psychonauts 2. Now, the only problem that I had with Xbox Games Showcase was that they didn't surprise me much. Everything that I saw was pretty much what I expected. Halo, Fable, Forza. Yeah, I got that. Even State of Decay 3, even though it looked good and I'm looking forward to it when it comes out because I love the last two, it didn't surprise me. Obviously, Undead Labs is going to be working on a part 3. But it looks good so far, and if it can be a launch title or close to launch, that's actually pretty good because I like to get my zombie games on, and State of Decay kind of hits that mark, you know what I mean? Still, what was disappointing was that I wasn't really surprised by much, other than maybe Stalker 2. Stalker looked good. Now, a lot of you aren't familiar with the game Stalker. It came on the PC a while ago, so I'm excited that it's finally coming out on Xbox, especially next gen. And I really like the whole the vibe, the post-apocalyptic vibe that Stalker brings. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't just like zombie type of post-apocalyptic, but it had some kind of sci-fi elements like aliens and stuff. Like, again, I didn't play the first one, but I knew it was a big deal. I mean, I played it maybe about 20 minutes, you know, because it didn't run well on my Mac and or on my PC. I don't know what I had back then, so I stopped playing it. But I'm really looking forward to it on Xbox Series X. So Stalker was the only game I was particularly surprised by because I already knew the other ones that were gonna come out. But one game that I did like, and I definitely want to see more of, is Everwild. Everwild from Rare. That game is just gorgeous. Rare, you may like him, you may hate him. They had a few games that didn't deliver, but their art style, the games that they make are beautiful. Viva Pinata to this day holds the test of time. And now this game, Everwild, come on, man. And if any of you guys have played Sea of Thieves is such a beautiful game, especially when you're out there in the boats and the water physics and you see the sunset coming up, you're out there playing music. It's so beautiful. They make beautiful games, and Everwild doesn't disappoint. Now, I want to see a lot more gameplay. It looks like you're actually saving animals instead of actually killing them, which is kind of cool. I like that aspect of it because, you know, I'm a lover, not a fighter, so I want to see more of it. I know a lot of people might be hating on it, but if you don't like Rare games, then that's just, you know, that's your loss. I definitely love Rare games, and I am not disappointed with Everwild. Now, I was disappointed that they didn't show Perfect Dark. I was disappointed that they didn't show something new, something that we haven't seen before. Yes, I know we have seen Everwild is new. Yes, the medium is new. But I just wanted something new, some new IP that I didn't know about. I definitely want to see something with cats. I still think that Stray from the PlayStation is the game that has gotten me so far at this generation. I'm disappointed that Microsoft doesn't like cats, man. Come on, give me some cats. I don't know what kind of video games you can make. I don't give a shit if it's a damn cat simulator. Give me something, man. Yeah, overall, I think it was a good show. There's a few titles that I missed, like a few generic ones that I saw. Was it Crossfire? I don't know, it's like a war game. It showed Grounded, which looks pretty cool, but those are coming out now. And there was a bunch of smaller games that I really can't think of off my head. They looked okay, those were quite a few of them. But what I really wanted to see were more blockbuster games. I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see I want to see more Japanese games, you know, like smaller studio games. But like I said, there's still more time for us to see games for both PlayStation and Sony. So those are my thoughts on the Xbox showcase. I give the showcase maybe about a B, about a 7 out of 10. Because after all, they did deliver on the games they were supposed to deliver on. However, I still wanted to be surprised by more. So my expectations were set higher than they should have been, obviously. Still, I appreciate what they showed. I look forward to what they're going to be showing next. I look forward to what Sony will be showing next, because even though they showed some pretty good games, both of them, I still think they have more to show up their sleeve. I really do. And I want to know more about the Xbox price points as well as the PlayStation price points, and more about the Xbox controller. So there's still a lot more news to come. So I'm going to go ahead and dig into these games individually and try to see what kind of upgrades they have, because as of right now I see a bunch of new Halo information going out, how actually the gameplay is going to be, how it's going to be night and day cycle, how you get upgrades and collectibles. and stuff like that. So I just want to see where the gameplay is gonna go next gen. Now let me know what you think in the comments. If you're an Xbox fan, how was your reactions to it? Were you disappointed? Were you pleased? Did you want more? And my Sony only guys out there, what do you think? Do you think that Xbox delivered? Were they overhyped? Anything that you've seen that you liked? I found a few things that I liked, but I still wanted more. And I guess the same can go for Sony too. I saw a few things that I liked, but I still wanted more. So maybe it's just my expectations are always set so high for these events and video games that I play. But either way, better games coming out for us, new games coming out for us, new ways to play. It's exciting time to be a gamer, and I just can't wait. That's gonna do it for this episode, guys. Remember, when Xbox Showcase starts showing you games that nobody wants to see, run.